So for this video, I'm just going to show you some different ways column addition can look. Last week, we made sure you were secure in adding two 4-digit numbers using the column addition, which involved regrouping in various columns. This week, we're looking at different column addition, some involving 3-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers, and 4-digit numbers, considered slightly more difficult. And you'll see as we're going through the examples what it is that you might need to think about and be aware of when you're doing these sorts of calculations. So having a look at the first one, we're adding two 3-digit numbers, and you can see regrouping is going to come in the hundreds column. So you're actually going to end up by creating a 4-digit number. I'm just going to show you two examples of those, and then you should feel confident to actually carry on with that in the task time today. So if you have a look at 783 add 421, we are going to do it in the column addition way. So we need to rearrange this into a column addition. When you rearrange it into a column addition, you must keep very close care in how you're lining up these digits. So you must make sure that the ones line up vertically, the tens line up vertically, and the hundreds. Of course, we want to have an equal sign. So we like thinking about them as an equal sign, don't we? Let's get my pen ready. And you start at the least significant digit. So we start in the ones column. We end up creating 1. 1 add 3 equals 4. And moving across to the tens, 80 add 20 actually makes 100. So you're already going to regroup 10 of those tens and regroup it to make it 100 here. And then we've got 700 add 100 is 800. And you're adding 400 onto that, so you make 1,200. So you can see you've actually just carry on and you make that thousands column yourself, 1,204. This one is going to show you a very similar thing. Just look at another example. You might want to pause the video or go doing it yourself and then check it against my answer here. So we're going to create 5 in the ones column. We are going to make 140. Yeah, because 80 add 60 is 140. And then you go 800, add 100 is 900. And then add another 400, means you get 1,345. So there's a few examples on Monday's task for this example for you. As we move on through the week, we see some other things happening. So here we go. We've got a 4-digit number and we've got a 3-digit number this time. So things to look out for today. You've got to make sure that you're really carefully lining up those digits. So when you look, this is why we do so much place value knowledge. So when you look, you know exactly which column this number is going to line up underneath. So we've got 4,362 adding 823. So if the 8 stands for 800, it's going to end up going underneath the 300 as 4,362. The 2 will go underneath the tens column and the 3 will be in the ones column. So be careful when you're lining up the digits. It's worth checking your place value knowledge to make sure that you're lining them up in the columns. Watch out for column making that mistake. I imagine that'll be one in some of the challenges this week. And we're adding them together. And again, we start at the least significant digit, which is the ones column. We end up making 5 ones. We have 8 tens. 800 and 300 is 1,100. So you need to regroup 10 of those hundreds into 1,000. And now we're adding thousands together to make 5,185. A little bit trickier because it involves making sure you line up those digits carefully so you don't accidentally put the 8 in the thousands column. Again, this other example here, I've shown that you can actually label the columns for you to make sure you're doing it correctly. Again, you can pause the video. You can see whether you are doing it correctly before you see my answer. And then you add up the ones column first. 2 add 3 equals 5. You add up the tens column. 90 add 70 is 160. So a bit of regrouping there. You've got 600 and 400, which makes 1,000. And then you've got the 100 here. So 1,100. And then you find the total of the thousands column, which is 6,000. And the final stage this week, actually, if you have a little look at it, it's a 4-digit number and a 2-digit number. So again, the lining up is key this time, isn't it? So you need to make sure that you understand what each digit represents before you write it out. So 82, you know that the 4,369, you might want to pause the video, write it down yourself to see whether it's going to match up with mine. And you're adding on 82. You're going to say 9 add 2 is 11. So you've got to have to regroup 10 of those ones into 110. 60 and 80 is 140. Add the 10 here, you're going to end up with 150. You're going to end up with 400s. And you're going to keep 4 in the thousands column. 4,451. Again, the final example for you then shows you adding 4 digits and 2 digits together. You can have a little look and see how much regrouping is going to take place. You can check that I've got the columns lined up correctly. You can pause it and have a go at it and then compare it to my answer. So we've got 8 add 6 is 14. We've got 30 add 70 is 100. And the 10 in the tens column, got 700 and 100, meaning 800. And 6 with no thousands will end up with 6,000, 6,814. Okay, so at various points you might want to pause this and have a look at the tasks on the school web page.